Hello everyone and welcome to my workshop. I'm Diane Deziel and today I'm going to show you how to do the plan for the pattern of a skirt overall. So this is today's style that we're doing. Some call it a romper, a jumpsuit skirt, an overall skirt, skirt-all or jumper skirt. And to be able to show you every little detail that we're doing in pattern, I'm going to show it to you on a little overall that I got. Now to make today's pattern, I'm going to be using my skirt block back and front without the seam allowance, as well as my dartless bodice block back and front. Now the next step is going to be to indicate the length that you want your skirt right on the block. Then you're going to trace that line with your awl so you could fold it and use right away the proper length for your plan. Remember that when you report the length from front to back or back to front, you have to report it from the hip line since the center back and center front are not the same length. To do this style, I'm going to start by tracing a long line on my paper that's going to be my center front. Then I'll be starting with my front, so I take my skirt pattern and I'm going to place it on the line at the bottom of my paper, and I'm going to trace all around. Here, I hope you notice I did not indicate the pivot or the notch of the dart because we don't need it. Now the next thing I'll do is take my front bodice and put it right next to the line. Make sure that the waist of the bodice touch the side seam of your skirt. Then I will trace my bodice all around except for the waistline. We're going to start by tracing the waistband. So it's going to be over the waist, and for this example I'm going to do it 4 centimeters. Now on your plan I want you to go over the waistline 4 centimeters, square with the center front. You trace for a little while, like 3 or 4 centimeters. Then on the side seam, parallel to the waist, you trace for a little while as well. Then using your French curve, you're going to connect these two references in a nice soft line. Now we have the top part of the waistband. I want you to fix the bottom line because there's no dart. So you're going to take your ruler and you're going to trace parallel to the top line to get the new waistline. Now on the side seam, you're going to report the waist and side seam original from the block to the top line. Then using your French curve, you're going to fix your side seam or close your side seam from that new point until it touches the original side seam with a very, very light curve. For the next step, I'm going to do the bib area. If you want, you could just trace it by eyes. We did trace the bodice block so you have a good idea on the size of your bib and where it's going to fall. I'm now going to give you measurement, but you don't have to respect it. It's all matter of style. For today's example, I'm going to use the measurement of 24 centimeters from the top of the waistline towards the top. Then from that 24 centimeter point, I'm going to square a line. And for today's style, I'm going to do it 10 centimeters long. Now to close or to finish the shape of the bib, I'm going to ask you to place your ruler on that last point that we got and the other side of the ruler about 5 millimeters higher from the top of the waistband corner and trace most of the curve. Then the last part will close it with the French curve. Now that we have the bib, we're going to trace the pocket. So we have the right size according to the size of the bib, and also we'll have the placement. The first thing is to decide how big is going to be the facing or the self-fold facing that we do on top, and then from that we'll go a little lower and trace the pocket. For this example, my self-fold facing on top will be 3.5 centimeters, so I'm going to trace a dotted line at 3.5 centimeters parallel to the top. Then I will give 1 centimeter before tracing the top of my pocket. Then for the pocket opening, I'm going to put 8 centimeter. The length of my pocket is going to be 14 centimeter, so I measure it on the center front. Then to be able to create a point, I'm going to measure 2.5 centimeter higher. Then from the 2.5 higher, I'm going to square a line for the width of the pocket at the bottom. For this example, I'll do it a little wider than the top, so maybe 10 centimeter. Then we're going to connect all these dots. Now the top part is finished. We're going to do the bottom part, and we're going to start by tracing the pocket on the side seam. Here for the pocket, I'm going to give you some measurement, but it's really up to you. The only thing that is important is that you just check to make sure that your hand could get in. For this example, I'm going to measure 6 centimeter from the side seam on the waistline and 18 centimeter down on the side seam. Then using your French curve, you're going to trace your pocket opening. The next thing will be to trace the pocket bag. So place your hand inside about 1.5 centimeter from the side seam and get the length and the width that you want. Usually you indicated, 2 centimeter further on both directions. Once we have both reference that we need, we're going to trace the bottom part of the pocket bag, starting with the width that we need, and your line should be parallel to your center front. And to trace the bottom part, so the depth of your pocket bag, you're going to trace a square line from the width touching that point. You're going to trace it until maybe 2/3 of the distance. For the last part, you're going to connect the side seam to the bottom part of the pocket bag with a stretch S shape. If you're wondering why we do that shape, it's simply to be able to overlock easily. Now the pocket bag is done, we're going to trace the facing part. This is the pocket opening. The facing should be at least 3 centimeter wider than the pocket opening to make sure that you're never going to see the pocket bag fabric. So like I said, a minimum of 3 centimeter, and you could trace it parallel to the opening. Now, just in case you want some more measurement, I'm going to give you the distance from the pocket opening to the width of the pocket bag. Here I have 6 centimeter, and on the side seam, I have 4 centimeter. The total length of my pocket bag is 27. It's a fake fly because you do have the fabric, all the fabric necessary, but it's closed and there's no zipper inside. The basic width for a fly is 3.5 to 4 centimeter wide, and the length should be about 18 centimeter. Once you have traced the width of the fly and the length at 18 centimeter on center front, you could come and get a little mark on the 3.5 line at 2.5 or 3 centimeter. And from this point, we're going to do a little curve for the bottom of the fly, reaching the center front. To complete the front plan, we're missing a little facing where we want the buttonholes to be. One will be for sure on the waistband, but we need at least another one in the facing area. Now we're going to decide the opening we want on the side seam. I would say you should do it maybe 2 or 3 centimeter higher than the end of the pocket. Now we're going to trace that little facing. We will do it parallel to the side seam. The width should be 3.5 to 4 centimeter, and we're going to extend it about 2 centimeter further than the opening. To make it easier for the overlock, we're going to curve the bottom part, just like if it was a fly. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you share my video. Thanks for watching, and I see you next time.